Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're diving into a future where maybe, just maybe, doing laundry doesn't involve looking for quarters.
And groaning.
Yeah, groaning looking for quarters, that's right. Forget those robot vacuums bumping around like confused beetles. We're talking humanoid robots in your home.
And not just any robots.
No.
The company 1X just unveiled their latest creation. It's called NEO Beta, and it's causing quite a stir.
Okay, color me intrigued. So it walks on two legs. It's designed for the home, for those of us who haven't been glued to the Robosphere news. What makes NEO Beta the star of the Bond show?
NEO Beta is not your average machine. Imagine a robot that not just looks human, but can actually navigate your home with the grace and fluidity of, well, you on a good day.
Okay.
That's NEO Beta. It represents a massive leap from those clunky industrial robots we've seen, welding car parts for decades.
Hold on, rewind. Grace and fluidity. Are we talking about a robot that can actually move smoothly? Because let's be real, some of the robots we've seen move like they're wading through peanut butter.
Right. But 1X is using something called bio-inspired design. Basically, they're taking cues from nature to help these robots move more organically in a human environment. So instead of jerky, pre-programmed movements, NEO Beta is designed to adapt and react to its surroundings in a much more natural way.
Okay, now that's what I'm talking about. This goes beyond just building a cool robot, though, right? It's like 1X is saying, hey, get ready for a future where robots are practically family.
Absolutely. 1X has been very vocal about their mission. They want to create what they call an abundant supply of physical labor through these humanoids.
Okay.
Think of it this way. Imagine having a love-in assistant who never complains about taking out the trash.
Now that's an appealing thought. I know what you're thinking because I'm already there.
Uh-huh.
What are the chances of this thing going all Terminator on me? I mean, we're talking about letting a robot loose in our homes.
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it? And 1X knows it. They're putting a huge emphasis on safety, especially given that this isn't just lab testing anymore. NEO Beta is already being tested in real homes.
Wait, hold the phone. They're letting these things loose in people's living rooms. Now that's gutsy. Tell me more about this whole real-world testing thing.
It's a bold move, yeah, for sure. But 1X sees this as the fastest way to gather data and, iron out the kinks, so to speak. Think about it. A robot might navigate a pristine lab environment perfectly, but what happens when it encounters like a cat toy under the sofa? Or, a toddler who loves to help with chores?
Well, okay, point taken. There's nothing like real-world chaos to expose a design flaw or two.
Right.
But it sounds like they're really putting their money where their mouth is when it comes to safety. What are they doing specifically to make sure this isn't a, sci-fi horror movie waiting to happen?
Well, we don't know all the details. Got to protect that intellectual property. But Burnish, 1X's CEO, has been very vocal about safety being their #1 priority. He even called it the cornerstone of their approach.
Sure, keep those trade secrets under wraps.
But we can assume they're using a combination of advanced sensors, obstacle avoidance tech, and probably some good old-fashioned padding. Remember, these robots are designed to interact with humans, not bulldoze them.
Okay, that's somewhat reassuring.
Yeah.
But here's where my brain goes into overdrive.
Yeah.
We've all seen the movies, right? Read the books, robots taking over the world. It's a recurring theme for a reason. Is this really something we should be embracing, or are we inviting a robot uprising by welcoming them into our homes?
It's a question worth asking, but instead of an all-out robot rebellion, what if this is more about redefining our relationship with work? What if instead of taking over the world, robots like NEO Beta free us from the mundane and give us more time for the things that truly matter?
Right. That's a much more appealing scenario.
Yeah.
But are we talking about a future where everyone has a robot butler? Or are there some downsides to this whole robot revolution that we need to consider?
Well, for starters, this type of advanced technology doesn't come cheap. Initially, NEO Beta will likely be a luxury item accessible only to those who can afford it. This raises questions about equity and whether robots will exacerbate existing social divides.
You're right. Robots shouldn't just be for the rich and famous. But even if the cost comes down, what about the folks whose livelihoods depend on the very tasks these robots are designed to do? Housekeepers, caregivers, even dog walkers. Are we talking about a future where robots put people out of work?
It's a valid concern, no doubt. But imagine if instead of seeing robots as job stealers, we saw them as a chance to kind of rethink our relationship with work altogether. What if those displaced workers were offered training to become like robot technicians or designers?
Yeah.
The demand for those skills is only going to, skyrocket.
Okay, I'm starting to see the bigger picture here. It's not just about robots folding laundry. It's about how this technology could reshape our entire society, for better or for worse. And honestly, it's a bit of a mind bender.
Exactly. And we haven't even really scratched the surface of the ethical dilemmas. Like, who's responsible if a robot malfunctions and causes damage or, heaven forbid, harm? How do we ensure these robots are used ethically and don't perpetuate biases? These are conversations we need to have now, not down the road.
You're preaching to the choir. It's easy to get caught up in the wow factor of new tech, but we can't ignore the potential downsides. It's like opening Pandora's box. Once you unleash these robots into the world, there's no putting them back in.
And that's what makes this whole thing so fascinating, isn't it? We're standing on the edge of a technological revolution, and it's up to us to decide what the future looks like. It's exciting and a little terrifying all at the same time.
Talk about food for thought.
Hmm.
So from robot butlers to a potential robot uprising, we've covered a lot of ground today. But one thing's for sure, the future of robotics is looking more human than ever.
And it's closer than you think. Who knows, maybe one day soon we'll all have a NEO beta bustling around our homes.
And hopefully offering us snacks, not plotting world domination. That's all the time we have for today's deep dive, but we want to hear from you.
Oh.
What do you think about sharing your home and your life with a robot like Enio Beta? Let us know. We're diving into uncharted territory here, and your perspective matters.